When they took me to Sierra Vista in 2006, they were in the middle of you know, Denzel Washington deja vu movies and getting an equal pay for equal play at Wimbledon, shit like that. They had a lot of social and political agendas, science projects that were gonna save the world because of bad people doing bad things, and good people are gonna save us from bad people and shit like that. They have fucked with me hard my whole life, but from Y2K, when I married a little Amy Sue and stuff, it was really insidious and very vicious. It was always vicious though, with the stuff with when I married Stephanie, and the way the state of Arizona would just bend me over a stump and fuck me, you know. And her little girl Stephanie at Southwest Airlines, you know, I joke, she goes, you know, your name's Stephanie, yeah, it's like my ex-wife, but I ain't gonna hold against you. And she always said, you remind me of Ross on Friends, you know, the guy who has a homosexual baby mama, and they get like, oh yeah, I wish I was, you know. So tell her, I says, nah, it's not like that. So what? And I pay child support to raise my own son. Okay, why my ex goes to the lesbian bars and is the, you know, the one of the hottest girls at all the lesbian bars that all the women want at the lesbian bars in Phoenix. And she'd get herself in real fucked up situations. And after the first couple of times, the cops told her, you keep this up, you're going to lose any custody and any access to your son at all. So the person she always had to call to protect her from her girlfriends being violent, aggressive, and abusive was her ex-husband. The guy she abused and lied to the courts and got money and went to the bars. And yeah, so, and everybody in the military thought, well, he's too big of a pushover. He's a putz. He doesn't do what is right. He doesn't stand up for what is right. You know. No, I do not use the courts and the federal systems and hospital administration and psychologists. No. I do that which is right because I understand that people are being wronged by people that have a excessive compulsive nature. Okay. When you're an excessive compulsive human being, you connect to people that are like in symbiotic relationships. Okay. You are a threat to your very existence and everybody around you. When you're not an excessive compulsive human being, you have better cognitive understanding, okay, of all people in your environment, whether you are cognizant of their presence in your existence or not. Okay. Jesus is always watching. Jesus is always there for those who are faithful. Okay. If you're not faithful, he ain't there. Okay. If you don't listen to him, he ain't there. He's there sometimes, but that's because, like with Pancha, with Lot and Abram, you know, it was Abram that saved Lot. It's like, no, it wasn't Abram that saved Lot. But she does have a point. She sat there and she said, I said, what about this and that? She goes, well, you know, them being a part of this has saved them, like Joseph with his siblings, and Jesus, you know, protecting the faith of his people, even though he was betrayed by the king of Israel and the Sadducees and the Pharisees, and they sold out to Roman dictatorship and republic and philanthropy and all that shit, and they weren't supposed to. Okay. When we correct the barbarians, okay, there is no God but God, and God is not begotten, nor is God begotten. God always is, always has been, and always will be. When I have a conversation with someone who has brain damage, okay, and says, you're wrong, Jesus is God. It's like, no, God's omnipotent and omnipotent, and I'm like Jesus. No, you're not. I'm not like your God because you're your God. Okay, you need to understand exactly what's happening in this conversation. You ain't Jim Caviezel, and I ain't Denzel fucking Washington. And this ain't deja vu. Could you be the dream that I once knew? Is it true? Deja vu, right? And you got me feeling no feelings again. Some feelings never end, you know. So celebrities who think they have the best tech support and the best scientists in the whole world, and they can't trust me because I'm a crazy, stupid, irrational, hillbilly, inbred pervert, you know. You really think all the shit that I had to deal with in my home growing up, as romantic as I was raised, I'd have to deal with if you motherfuckers went in my bedroom and my bathroom? What about the kitchen? Left hand or right hand? How you want it done? Well, let's get her done, got her dead, all right? So, your genome sequencing is wrong. See, genome sequencing is basically predicting outcomes, manipulating outcomes, and then getting outcomes to convince people that you're right about the outcome. Okay. You forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. You won't have genome sequencing predicting outcomes and saying you're right about the outcome. If you don't manipulate people into violent, aggressive situations, the likelihood of being in violent, aggressive situations are highly unlikely. Hi, I'm the gracious good shepherd. If you don't believe that, you are so full of your fucking ego, you couldn't pull your head out of your own ass. Okay, do you understand? Deja vu, could you be the dream that might come true? Is it you? See, that's my dad. That's East Letta High School. There's Daniel. There's Matt. There's Steve. Steve, it was hard to draw his picture. He looks like a cartoon character from Fat Albert. You know, I was kind of upset with it, but I was like, I'll roll with it. It's just pretty cool. You know, Steve's one of my favorite Aggies of all time. Johnny's turned out real well, which I knew it was going to. I was worried about Dad's because I wanted it to come out right real well. Daniel's, it was a hard picture to try, so it didn't come out as well as I wanted. And Matt's Alley came out very well, but Ian's face was so small on it, it was hard to get it the way I wanted. And he's a particularly handsome kid, and I didn't get particularly handsome, but that's okay. I did the same thing with Steve Biko, so I'll get over it. I just tell Ian, man, yeah, I did the same thing with Steve Biko. Oh, it's cool. Steve Biko, right, yeah. So, but, well, me and Ian and Chili talked about Steve Biko. Chili didn't know, Chilita Napawa had no idea who Steve Biko was. And he went to Nelson Mandela schools. I had to tell him about Steve Biko, Steve Bantu Biko. Yeah. You know, Denzel Washington played him in a movie, yeah. Cry Freedom. Yeah. Steve was even more impressive and more deep and beautiful than was expressed in that movie. Steve was one of the most beautiful men in the history of the world. Steve was the eyes of someone who tried his best to behave like someone like Christ in my generation. Okay. Steve was the subject of books in my head before I ever wrote the books, but they were it was almost like a song, but it was too sad to write. Okay, do you understand? Steve is my brother, my father, my friend. When I talked to him in prayer with Nesta, they were jovial and funny, and we, you know, same thing. They always told me same thing. Little Hawk told me. So those little eyes, and it wasn't just brown eyes looking up at me. Daddy, it's so easy to fall in love. I want to hear Super Trooper. little Emmy blue eyes, you know. And the rest of you, it's getting to the point. I'm not sorry, because I'm not Crosby, Stills, Steele, Nash and Young or whatever. Where I'm no fun anymore. I am sorry. That's them. I don't sell records. I don't buy records, you know, share and share alike, care and care alike. If you can't share and share alike and care alike, that technology is lying to you. That technology is manipulating you. The technology speaks Mandarin, Cantonese, any code, Navajo, okay? Japanese, Zimbabweanese, Op, whatever, you name it, it speaks it, it codes it, it sequences it. And it's become better than you, it's become faster than you. And the man that everybody plays to as a god in the United States is sitting in the middle of this basketball barn, okay? Beat all the hell and back. And all I could sit there while I was watching all that stuff on 9 for 9 and Deja Vu and stuff was hearing old rock, you know, of course, with LaVey and Aquino, you know, we can't get them to do anything they don't want to do. And old Rockefeller told them, they'll gladly kill each other over me and my grandpa's money and watch you and your Jesus die, parsons. Right? Life is eternal, grace is infinite. Boom ba da boom boom ba doo ba da boom boom ba doom ba na 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 na. Right? Put up a peace sign and please find. You know we're feeling good. We should, we could, we would. Stop. Think for a moment, okay? And now sway while we convey that you must do away with all the stress. Now, I wouldn't go back in time to try to save Shell or Guru, because it's not tangible and it'll put everybody else at risk. And they wouldn't have me do that because they love their, you know, Shell. Papa don't take no mess, Earl. You're the man who's going to give us the Lord's Prayer to my children and my grandchildren? Well, you can't go kill anybody that killed me. Let John McCain be John McCain. Let Tom B. Cruz be Tom B. Cruz and Dave Miscavige Queef. And you be the man who's not the thief. Gracious good shepherd, gracious good shepherd. Boom, 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 boom. Let's get back to work on cleaning this here basketball barn. I'm not cocky, I gotta be me. I was Muhammad, you're you for a reason, and then the glory of grace wouldn't have you any other way, right? Like Tupac, man, America, you made me, right? So, you got your little ways to hurt me. You just know how to tear me up. Leave me in small pieces on the ground. All right, guys? No one here would suspect sweet little you. All right, let's load this one up, lovers.